Hey guys, it's Aquarii Moon. Today I wanted to talk about the backfire of law of attraction. How you can actually help kind of course correct your karma with the law of attraction, but there is a certain way that you utilize that tool. So first I want to touch on planting bad and good seeds. So when I'm sure you've seen on your timelines, they may have even mentioned it on the news. I don't watch TV anymore, so I don't know, but they may have touched on it. But you know, all of these super moons and different planetary things that are going on, knowing the moon phase is really important, because that's a time when you're either planting or you're reaping. When I started learning about moon phases and different things about the moon that correlate to events or different energies that may be around on certain days and things like that, it was really interesting when I started learning about the fact that we also have a moon sign. A lot of people focus on their sun sign, which is, you know, if you are a Aquarius, or if you're a Cancer or a Capricorn, a Virgo or something like that. But back to what I was saying, but that also correlates with a lot of things that go on with us. But when you're planting your good seeds, you want to make sure that they are something that is going to, you know, you want it to at least double or triple, you know, positivity towards you. A lot of times we plant bad seeds, and those bad seeds end up turning into, you know, streaks of bad luck and things like that. Recently I was talking to a friend of mine, and they've just been going through a lot of stuff, and we were talking, and you know, I was mentioning to them, you know, you may want to check out, you know, moon phases, when the moon is full, when the moon is waxing, when the moon is waning, when it's a crescent moon. Like, people need to research what those times are and what those times mean, so that they can properly start to set up things to end up being a good seed, and end up and position themselves to be able to reap, you know, whatever they sow. That whole analogy too. And I feel that, you know, with our culture in general, just not being really in touch with farming or that part, you know, that type of information, like that information actually also applies to our real life. You know, there's certain days, if you look up the Farmer's Almanac, planting times to do planting, or some, you know, some type of search like that, which I encourage you to do, you'll see that there are certain days where it's like, no, this day is a good day to plant, and it'll give you you know, a few of the days of the month that are good days to plant. And then there's other times when you need to just clean up or just maintain, and then there's other days where you actually harvest and get ready, you know, get it ready to plant for the remainder, you know, or whatnot. When you're planting bad seeds, a lot of times that's when you stay in old situations or relationships, and as long as you're consistently in that relationship or that situation, it just multiplies and multiplies until you just start like, it's like day by day, like every day something's going wrong. You know, the person I was talking about, that, you know, it's like every other day, you know, they're like, man, this just happened, man, this just happened. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, you obviously did not plant good seeds, you know, these past couple of full moons. And so now, you know, with the current full moon that just passed, you know, it's really a time to, because because I actually learned about like the moon stuff, I'd say the earlier part of this year, this is 2019, and it was a big help because I started autocorrecting myself. If I was doing something that I didn't really want to be doing and things like that, I started to replace the things that I was repeating that weren't getting me anywhere. I started replacing those with things that will get me closer to where I'm heading. And that kind of plays into the video where I'm talking about programming yourself, because planting those certain seeds, doing certain actions. And that's the other thing. You can plant the seeds, but you have to nurture it, you have to water it, you have to be diligent and helping it to actually grow and flourish. Like I was kind of touching on, having at least a simple understanding of your natal chart. Now, I don't do those. There are people out there that do that, so you can search for people that do that. If I find someone that I feel does them well, I'll more than likely leave. I may update the description at the bottom, so check back. I'll probably end up putting a link in there if I do find someone that does natal charts, and that can help explain a lot of this a little more crystal clear for you. And you want to watch out for people close to you that discourages you. A lot of times we get into relationships and we get super comfortable, and then you end up kind of accepting some of the behaviors that develop, or I don't even say develop, because the person had those traits and things to begin with. Maybe it's later in the relationship and you're just now seeing a lot of things like, man, if I would have known this. But a lot of times you never know. People are pretty good at securing and hiding kind of their faults and things like that. I wanted to just read the law of attraction definition out loud and then wrap it up. So the law of attraction definition: the belief that positive thoughts are magnets for positive life experiences, and negative thoughts are magnets for negative life experiences. So along with thoughts, I would add action as well, because if you are doing negative actions, that also has an effect on your law of attraction and attracting something good. So and I wanted to touch on I wanted to kind of go back on the fact that our thoughts are magnets. Our brain is actually, we are actually magnetic. Like, we have energy flowing through us, in and out of us. I've talked about it before, your energy signatures and aura and the energy field around you. But your thoughts are magnets, and the more you think about something, if you're not putting a good intention, and then also it has to actually match up with higher vibrational energy as well, because you can have aspirations to be the best robber or something, and then you're able to be so slick that you're able to get do it so slick, and then but in the end, once everything catches up to you, that's that negative part of it, because you were doing it for a reason that didn't help anybody. You were being greedy. You were utilizing the negative energies of greed and selfishness and things like that. So just think about that. When you are in a situation where you don't want to be, but you continually say, oh, I don't have this, I can't do that. When you're saying you can't do something, or oh, I don't have it, you will actually build energy that will continue building and building, and you will really, and then it comes almost physical, because then you really actually don't have it, like physically, like for people that they're interested in a course, you know, they see it a new course coming online and they're like, oh man, I would, oh, but I don't have the money. Instead of thinking, well, I really want to do this course, what can I do to be able to afford it? You know, starting to use their imagination, starting to use their brain to figure out how can I, what can I set up to be able to get that course in time. You know, courses are always going to be out there, but sometimes some instructors will make it a limited time type of thing. I don't know, it is also a marketing scheme or marketing ploy to list it as limited, as, you know, a limited item or limited, but you have to be careful because some people really only make it in a limited edition. I remember I had bought this calendar. I think it was 2017. It was a 2017 calendar, and I love that calendar. I was like, man, next year I'm just gonna get this brand. And then I go back and they didn't make calendars, that it was just for that year. And I was like, man, but that just goes for anything, you know, if you see it and you like it, get it. If it's going to enhance you, if it's going to help build your personal development, that's what a lot of people are lacking. That's what I'm discovering that I was lacking, was actual personal development from an adolescent to a mature adult. You know, sure, you know, when I turned 18, I was like, I'm an adult now, I can do whatever I want, but I was still young in the mind. And so I did a lot of just, you know, young people shit. So, but I did learn from those experiences. And so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it there. What types of backfire have you guys experienced? Have you experienced any backfire, you know, from karma or the law of attraction? This has been your girl Aquarii Moon, and I will see you next time.